Today I'm going to talk about the coronavirus and the effect that it's going to have on the real estate market in 2020. This is one of those things that none of us saw coming, but it is something we can be aware of and we can kind of track and see what it means the long term for the real estate game. What's up, you guys? This is a video unfortunately we have to make. As we know, the coronavirus has gotten real. Entire countries are being quarantined, travel is being banned, sporting events are being canceled. Coachella, I had tickets this year, just got canceled. Probably a blessing. I didn't know if I wanted to go anyway. But the point of it is there's a very real chance that this coronavirus is going to be here for quite a while. Most of the smartest people that I'm listening to, I've been studying this thing for hours and hours. I'm trying to understand it because one of the things as a top real estate agent and expert that I need to know is what is coming up and how can I prepare my clients for that. We've been very familiar with what's going on with the Fed and dropping rates and everything else. We got to an all-time low about a week ago. It's already back up over 0.5% because what's happening is so many people are trying to take advantage of that. The banks are actually slammed. They can't get to it. So my opinion is they've raised it simply to alleviate some of the amount of people that are trying to refinance their homes and stuff like that. But what I want to talk about today is what this means for 2020 and going beyond for the real estate market. And the first thing I want to touch on is, based on everything that we were kind of gathering, I'm part of some pretty prestigious groups of men that run multi-billion-dollar firms all over the country. Some of the people that inside circle with Tony Robbins and some of these people that that have the smartest collection of minds in the country, and they all assumed that Donald Trump was a buy-in, a shoe-in to get reelected, which was going to mean some certain things for the real estate game, for the economy as a whole. The coronavirus has kind of changed everything. Because of the coronavirus, this will be how this is all handled, will define his entire presidency. And more it's looking like a very real chance that it could cost him the re-election. So first off, all the bets that we were making based upon Donald Trump being re-elected have kind of gone away. But the good news is Bernie Sanders is also kind of out of the race at this point. The markets would have reacted terribly. Investors would have been pulling money out of their markets. If Bernie Sanders got into the White House, he literally believes that billionaires shouldn't exist. Well, the billionaires are the ones that pull the strings on the market every day. And if he thought that they were coming after their money, it was going to be some serious issues could have happened in those next 4 years. So the good news is it looks like it's going to be Trump or Biden, which both are actually probably going to be okay. They both are kind of part of what we would call the good picks for the real estate market. One thing to look out for, though, that I think that everybody needs aware of is with the coronavirus is we don't know how long this is going to last. And the smartest people that I know, again, these people that I'm leaning on, they think we should plan on at least till July, if we're being honest with ourselves, of this could go that long, possibly even longer. We're talking quarantines, we're talking, like in Italy, they literally have shut down all stores. You cannot go to the store unless it's a pharmaceutical store at this point. So this could get ugly, could get really ugly. And so some of the things I want you to be aware of, number one is the refinancing right now is as good as it's ever going to be. I mean, we are literally seeing rates at 3%, below 3%. So if you have a rate that's about 4.25 or higher, you can probably get a no-cost refinance, which means the person that does the refinance will pay the fees in order for you to do it because you'll still be able to save so much money by refinancing. Get that down, get it into a lower rate. That's the first thing that I would tell anybody. As far as house prices go themselves, so housing has moved a little bit. So the one thing about real estate is it hasn't really been hit on the lower markets yet. The high-end markets started getting hit about a month and a half ago. San Francisco, New York, the East Coast. And what happened is a lot of the buyers these last decade, 15 years, have come from China and Russia and some of these other parts. Well, those people are not buying right now. So all that top-end money that was coming into the United States has quit coming in. So you have a lot of people that are wanting to sell the high-end real estate, and those are the people that buy other real estate and kind of pushes that whole market. And unfortunately, that's not happening right now. So I talked to a couple agents that are the top agents in New York, and they said it's next to impossible to sell these high-end homes right now. There's no Chinese market people in the market. In fact, they've actually been out of the market for the last about year and a half, ever since the Trump trade war started with China. They kind of started slowly pulling money back, and it's just gotten really bad now with the coronavirus. The issue that we have is if the economy itself can't produce goods, if people can't go to work, if people can't, so for example, I have a buddy that has an import business from China, and he was supposed to get all of his stuff in mid-February. And they're telling him now they'll be lucky to get it by the end of May. So he essentially is a person that had millions of dollars worth of goods that he has sold, pre-sold, that he can't get out. So he can't buy more goods, he can't deliver the goods, he's losing orders. And that is what's going on all over the economy. And as this happens, it starts to push down the line. So that guy actually is a past client of mine. Well, if this had happened even 2 months earlier, he just bought a nice house off me, I wouldn't have been able to sell that house. They would have been waiting. And so all these higher end homes, especially again, and when there's fear, that's when people, when there's unknown, that's when people are afraid. And right now there's just so much unknown, and that's what's paralyzing people with fear. Fear paralyzes people from taking action. People start hoarding. You see this with people buying out the grocery stores of toilet paper and water. It's insane. It's like, what are you gonna do with 900 rolls of toilet paper? You wanna still share it with everybody else. But that's literally what's happening. Schools are now closing. The Ivy League just canceled their sporting events for the spring semester. I think there's 25 different colleges today announced that they're canceling school for 22 states, excuse me, announced they're canceling schools. And what's going to happen is there's this trickle effect to every other aspect of the market. So if you're trying to sell your house, first thing I'm going to tell you is if you need to get rid of it like ASAP, you need to lower the price and get it sold. You need to drop the price to sell it. It is a great time to take advantage of low rates. And if this goes on long enough, you're going to see desperate people start to sell off properties at whatever pricing it is. There's still going to be, the good news is there's a ton of money available in the market. There's so much money available. A lot of people are flush with cash, even with the $9 trillion that was lost in the bear market the last couple of weeks. And so there will be investors looking to buy up your properties. You're going to see it start to come down. This is the one thing that none of us could have foreseen. Honestly, like nobody really saw this coming, a pandemic of all things. But if people don't have food, if people can't make their basic needs met, they're going to sell their house, or they're going to look for opportunities to get money in the short term. There'll be a lot of opportunities for real estate investors to do lease options, to buy seller financing, and give somebody, like if somebody has, so for example, 50, 60 grand equity in their house, if you get 5 or 10 grand today for them and let them rent back their own house, maybe with an opportunity to buy that back later or something like that. There's going to be a lot of opportunities like this that we haven't seen, frankly, for the last 3 years. So while there is quite a bit of fear going on, I think the number one thing that you have to remember is to look for the opportunities. There's always opportunity in every market, even one that shuts down the entire country or the entire world. So what I would recommend is start to look where you might be a little bit liquidated right now with your cash and say, all right, how can I take advantage of this market? And then let's let it play out a little bit. If you're a real estate agent, business needs to go on as usual right now. Like start finding out, you better know how to use all sorts of forms online, how to use, all the automated tech versions, like how to do webinars for your clients, how to, I have my podcast. I'm going to be the Jimmy Rex Show. I can do that for my house all day long, make these YouTube videos, whatever I need to do to get in front of my clients and keep that business coming in. But as a whole, as a consumer, I think you just need to look at, where's their opportunity, where's the panic at, and then follow it. This is not going to get better. It's a huge mistake to think that this will go away or that this isn't a big deal. This is a very deadly virus, and it spreads very easily. So people are going to end up being quarantined or at least separated. They've already canceled anything over 1,000 people in most states. And so this is going to be more and more of a thing. So look for ways that you can take advantage of this once we kind of come out of it. I know that sounds bad, but I'm not here to help people that I can't help. I can't help everybody. All I can do is help you prepare for this and know that come this probably late summer, fall, there should be some great opportunities to take advantage of both the stock market and the real estate market as this thing continues.